as I said, we're looking forward to it.
Nick Pure.
Hi, Graham.
Hi.
I know you don't talk about other teams' players, and I'm not asking you to do that, but the new owners are obviously clearly very busy in terms of, I guess, short, medium and long-term planning for the squad, and obviously a lot of things off the field as well, but also squad kind of building in depth. I mean, from your perspective and as a new group of coaches, that must be, was that important in your part of your thinking in terms of taking the job, but, and also is it important now because it just seems that what the new owners are doing, they're keen to make a lot of progress quite quickly, and that must be a good thing for you to be aware of at least.
Yeah, I mean, the guys are ambitious, that's for sure, and they want to develop the club, they want to develop the team, as we all do. I think I always remember, I never forget that my job as a head coach, which is to develop the players that are here, and then to work with the club to align the resources we have to make good decisions when transfer windows open. But predominantly my job is to help the players that are here, and that's what we've been doing. You know, we haven't seen them that much, but the last few days has been really positive, I think, and you know, I need to focus on that, helping the guys that are here.
Jeremy Langdon.
Yeah, hi Graham.
Hi.
Just following on from that, there's a lot of talk about Christopher Nkunku on his way to Chelsea next season from RB Leipzig. Is there anything you could say to that?
No, as I said before, and you know, Jeremy, my answer is I don't speak about players that aren't Chelsea players. If you want to ask about any Chelsea players, I'm quite happy to speak about them, but it was the same at Brighton. You get linked to a lot of players, and there's a lot of names out there, and you can imagine it gets escalated when you're a club like Chelsea. But yeah, I'll speak about Chelsea players and not comment on anybody else.
So just on one of them, Conor Gallagher's made a great case for starting, hasn't he, against Milan?
He has, yeah, he had a fantastic impact. The impact that we want our substitutes to have. As I said after the game, he's been a top, you know, he's a top person, great in the group, and he's fighting to play. So that's great for me.
Tom Voddy.
Hi, Graham.
Hi.
You said about Kante being back and, training more and more, and that being a big positive. He's obviously been out for a while again with injuries, and in January, because of his contract situation, he can sign or speak to other clubs. Just wondered where you sat on his future, whether you wanted to see him, I don't think we've spoken about it yet, whether you want to see him staying at Chelsea for the long term?
Well, my focus at the moment is to help him rehabilitate in a good way so that he's available for us, he's available on the pitch, because when he's on the pitch he's a huge asset for us. The other stuff is between is between the club and him, but my focus is to help him get fit, get him enjoying his football, because as I said, there's not many players in world football like NG. So the quicker he's back for us, the better. So that's where I leave my focus.
Gentleman there.
Hi, Graham.
Hello.
Guillermo Ray for Diario AS. We are talking about signings. I know that you don't speak about other players from another teams, but now the news about Cristiano are coming out again, and I would want to know if you had the chance, would you sign him?
Again, we can spend all day asking these questions, and I'm not going to speak about anybody else. I mean, out of the greatest respect for the person you mention and anybody else that anybody else mentions. Whilst they're not our players, I don't speak about them.
Matt Law.
Hi, Graham.
Hi.
A couple, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Just to go back to Nizar's point on the goalkeepers, will you at some stage decide that one is a number one? Because we've always had a bit of a juggling act with Kepa and Edouard, and at some stage, will you want one to be a clear number one?
Well, I think if you look at what we got over the next, is it 6 weeks? It's an incredible schedule. So I'm in no rush to label anybody one or two or anything like that. Firstly, I want to help Kepa enjoy his football and play at a really good level, which I think he did against Crystal Palace. And then I want to help Eddie get, fit and ready to play, which he's done really well so far. And then we've got two goalkeepers, and then in an ideal world you want football to decide, but we've got two ones that we really believe in, and that's a good situation for us.
And then just secondly, we're going to speak to Kalidou in a second. He hasn't played a minute for you yet and obviously arrived in the summer. How do you sort of assess him in his situation at the moment?
I think he's... well, firstly, I've been really impressed with him. As a person, he's honest. He understands his situation in terms of he's had to wait a little bit to play, which every player will say they're not so happy with, but it's how you respond. His response has been fantastic. Very hard-working, very honest, trained really well. I think he's come from a club and a country where he was very familiar with and comfortable in, and making a step into the Premier League is not so easy. Things have happened in terms of changes at the club, so it's not the perfect situation for him. But he's a top player and he's a top person, so with that character, he'll play an important role for us, that's for sure.
John Southall.
Hi, Graham.
Hi.
What did you learn from that first Champions League game? Is it a different ball game to your normal domestic match? What did you take from that and learn from that?
Yeah, I think there is a difference. I mean, I've only had 2 games, so that's how strange it is in terms of the time that I've been here. I enjoyed it. It's as I'd expect. It's a real challenge if you drop your level. Sometimes you can get away with it, but against the very best teams, and you know these teams are, then they can punish you, and that's what you'd expect. That's what's exciting about the competition, I think.
Just one other on N'Golo Kante. You're having to be careful the way you bring him back. He's had so many injuries recently that you don't rush him back too soon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just a case of building him up, and then it won't be a case of, oh, now he's fit and now he can play 90 minutes every 3 days. You know, we have to be careful with how we build his minutes up. That's the next challenge. It's okay rehabilitating. Now it's game time, and how do you get game time in the Premier League? Bit by bit, I think. So we have to be patient with him, but we're under control with that, I think, and we'll do our best.
Jacob Steinberg.
In terms of N'Golo, you've seen the positive impact that he can have on the side when he's fit and on form. And previous managers have had maybe a bit of an issue in terms of the midfield when he's not there. I mean, you went for a back four the first time on the weekend against Crystal Palace. How did you feel that worked without him? Do you think it's something that can work without N'Golo playing because of the energy and the tackling ability and everything that he brings?
Well, as I said, I mean, it's hard to replace someone like NG. He's a world-class player. So any team that loses him is going to suffer a little bit. That's for sure. But it's up to the other players to take the step up and to find the solutions. We've got a lot of games coming up, limited time on the training pitch. So from a working perspective, isn't so straightforward. But if I look at the options that we've got, even though there's not a direct replacement, there are other solutions in there. So we have to find the right one.
Okay, gentleman there.
Hello. There's an ongoing debate in Italy now running about Rafael Leao. Antonio Cassano, former national team player, said he's just a normal player. He couldn't make the difference in Premier League and at top level. Other people in Italy are thinking he's just the best player playing in Italy right now. What do you think? Will he be ready to make the difference here in Premier League, or is not enough good still to do it? Thank you.
I've been really impressed with him whenever I've watched the games. He's making a difference for AC Milan. He contributes to how they attack, how they score. So it's just to say congratulations to him for that. He's a top player. In terms of what happens in the future, who knows whether he can do this or not. He's got the capability, that's for sure. From when I'm seeing him, he's affecting games at the highest level against top opponents.
Okay, we've got time for 2 more. James Ollie, and then over there, James.
Hi, Graham. Aubameyang scored his first goal at the weekend. And you said after that game that he'd had quite a traumatic summer. And I just wondered what you sort of said to help him through that, and whether the fact that he's got off the mark now will sort of help him kick on and sort of put all that behind him.
Well, I think it's just to acknowledge it and chat to him briefly about it, but you can imagine it's one of those things that you have to just move on from as quickly as you can, and it's we're here to support and do all we can in that regard. But I think the best thing for him is to play football, to put that incident behind him as quickly as possible and to be in a place where he feels comfortable and happy. And from what I've seen, I think he feels that here. He's acted really, really professionally. He's always happy around the football club, with the group, with his teammates. So I've been really impressed with him.
Do you think mentally he did find it difficult initially?
Well, I think he wouldn't be human if he didn't. I mean, it's fairly horrific, to be honest. So without being a total psychologist, I think it's a fair thing to assume. But like I said, I can only act in terms of think about how he behaves and how he conducted himself with us, and he's been perfect. So, but at the same time, he's still talking about something that isn't particularly nice, certainly when the family are concerned. But he's been brilliant with us.
Thank you.
Okay, last question.
Hi.
Only a question. What do you think about Milan and Olivier Giroud? Is a young player for us, for Milan.
I've been really impressed. A clear idea of how they want to attack, a clear idea of how they want to defend, different ways to score. Giroud is obviously someone that Chelsea Football Club know very well. He's a fantastic player, plays the game in a really good way, I think, uses his quality, uses his strengths. He's an important player for AC Milan. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the game. It's a top team. And we have to be really, really good to get the result that we want.